How's it going, guys? Bluegrass Sports Media here, and today we're going to do a spring preview for the 2022 Kentucky Wildcats receiver room going into the spring game. Before we get into the video, a few things. I have been working on the production value of this video. Please tell me if I'm getting better or getting worse at this. And leave a like and subscribe if you don't mind. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So Kentucky loses Wan'Dale Robinson and Josh Ali, the majority of the receiving production last year. Now, Wan'Dale had, I think, 104 catches, and is probably, to this moment, the best receiver I've ever seen in Kentucky. It's either him or Randall Cobb. So that's going to be very, very hard to replace. And I don't think we can replace that with one guy. But the positive thing about this Kentucky receiver room is I think we have a lot of depth. I think we have guys that I think in past years we haven't had really 2 or 3 deep receivers. I think last year we may have had two pretty good receivers for the SEC quality receivers, and then a third guy is borderline. I think this year we have at least 3 really good SEC quality receivers. Now time's going to tell, and spring practice is going to tell who those guys are. I think a lot of these guys have potential to be SEC quality starters, but they haven't shown it on the field yet. Besides one guy, Tavion Robinson is the first guy we're going to talk about on this list. He's a 5'10" transfer from Virginia Tech. You know, he's the only guy that we have on the roster right now that is bringing in production, this kind of production. In 2021, he had 44 catches, 559 yards, and 5 touchdowns. That's pretty good production in a Power 5 conference, the ACC. You know, a lot of people, I've watched a lot about him, and a lot of people have compared him to Lynn Bowden because of his explosiveness. And if that's the truth, I would be very happy with that. I think Lynn Bowden, however you want to say his name, would flourish in Rich's offense. Still working on that last name, Rich Gagiglia. Anyways, I think a guy like that with the way they use Deebo Samuel, I think a guy like Lynn Bowden would have flourished in that offense, and maybe Tavion can do some things like that. I'm really hoping so. He'll probably be the number 1 receiver going into the season, and a guy that everybody's really excited about, and I can't blame them. I mean, he's got the production coming in. A guy who is coming in, next on our list, another transfer that is coming in but doesn't really have the production is Javon Baker. Javon Baker entered the transfer portal. A lot of people wanted Javon Baker. Javon Baker, a transfer from Alabama. You know, anytime you can get a transfer from Alabama, you should be excited, because if the guy was good enough to go play for Nick Saban, he's a pretty good football player. So that's what excites me about Javon Baker. He's a really good athlete. I've heard he's really fast. I haven't really seen – no one's seen him on film. He had 7 catches and a touchdown at Alabama. Not a whole lot of playing time. But I think he can come in and contribute day 1 at Kentucky. With the way our receiver depth is looking, he could do one or two. That he could either come and contribute, or he could get buried on the depth chart, because there's a lot of talented receivers that we're going to talk about in this video. Third on the list, and I know this guy's hyped up by a lot of Kentucky fans, and I understand the hype, is Barion Brown. Barion Brown is a highly rated 4-star. Some services had him as a 5-star, but you know, when you commit to Kentucky and you're not a 5-star, you're going to get dropped down. I don't know what it is about the recruiting rankings, but that's just how it works. Incoming freshman, explosive as all get out. Really excited about this kid. You know, he's the future probably of this receiver room. He's the future of, you know, receiver at Kentucky right now. Barion Brown hopes to come in and make an immediate impact in a crowded Kentucky room. That's really all I can say about this kid right now. He's supposed to be the future, man. Next up on the list, Dekel Crowdus. This is a guy I was really high on last year, just because of the lack of depth we had, really. and his elite speed. Nikhil Crowdis coming off the injury in 2021. I'm hoping that that does not affect his explosiveness, because that's one of his biggest qualities. He's very explosive. Out of Frederick Douglass, another guy on the list we're going to talk about, Dane Key out of Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass has been really turning these receivers out. Just really hoping that he comes back from his injury with the same explosiveness, and I can see him in the rotation for sure at Kentucky this year. A guy we just talked about earlier, another Frederick Douglass alum, Dane Key. Now, Dane Key, when I first made this video, my notes on this video, Dane Key to me was a guy who was going to be a developmental kind of guy, you know, a freshman coming in, highly touted 4-star. I thought he was going to be a developmental guy. Then I watched the press conference yesterday when Coach Rich, he was the only receiver he mentioned. He mentioned his ability to go up and make big plays with a big frame and, you know, kind of snatch balls out of the air. So maybe he does come in and contribute year one. I know he has a big frame, and, you know, he's definitely going to be a guy in the future, him and Barion Brown here at Kentucky. And, you know, the biggest word I've said in this video, and I think a lot of Kentucky fans can get on board with this, is that we have receivers that excite you now. And that's the biggest thing I'm taking away from this video. The receiving core is exciting and young. I mean, I think Tavion's a sophomore. I think Javon may be a junior, but other than that, it's all freshmen and sophomores, besides the next guy on our list, Cleveland Thomas. Now, Cleveland has a weird story. He was going to be probably the third receiver last year on last year's Kentucky team, and going to get some playing time due to our lack of depth last year. And then he gets hurt, I think, in spring. I'm not 100% sure on when he got hurt, but he did get hurt. He spent the season as a assistant coach, like a kind of a assistant receiver, maybe a grad assistant receiver coach. And now he's came back, and I think Cleveland has talent. I don't know if he has as much ceiling as some of the other guys I've mentioned so far, but he's going to be a veteran leader and veteran presence in the room, full of just, you know, young guys. He's going to be a senior. He's going to be a guy that, you know, kind of pushes the guys, and he'll be in the rotation as well at receiver, but really think he's more of a leader, you know, in the words of him, an old head. Some other guys I want to mention in the video before we get off here today. There are some guys that Kentucky has brought in that just have crazy speed. Jordan Anthony, he was part of this year's class. He runs a 10.21 meter or 10.21 100 meter. That is ridiculously fast. That's crazy fast. I think Usain Bolt runs like a 9.5, but 10.21 in high school is like blazing speed. And then you have Brandon White, another athlete. This guy's an All-American track star. He'll probably run track for Kentucky. And I really like that we're getting these developmental guys with speed to, you know, to kind of sit for a little while, maybe red shirt, and then, if their skills improve as far as route running and everything like that, could be very big contributors here at Kentucky. I'm sure I missed some people in this receiver breakdown. I'm going to do the tight ends separately, so I didn't put in the tight ends because I think there's a lot of tight ends that can contribute this year. But yeah, leave a like and subscribe, and have a good day, guys. I really